Warning. Cooking with oil is inherently dangerous. Do not attempt this recipe if you do not feel comfortable cooking using these methods. If your oil starts to smoke for any reason, remove it from the heat and discard once cool. Please follow good safety practices at all times. All right. Any moment now. Ah, perfect. The time has come. Gather your things, Paladin. You can escape this no longer.
I know. I know I can't run from it any longer. It's time.
Good. No, wait. Gregory!
What's up, Crusaders? Tonight we are doing something very, very fun. Thank you once again for joining me. This is Nightly Meals, where I try and teach you something simple or something very efficient on how to make something delicious, something that you can achieve even with the most meager of utensils or items. So tonight we're doing chili oil. Yes, for the new year, the first video we're doing is going to be chili oil. Heck yeah. What's the beautiful part about chili oil? Chili oil is something you can customize endlessly. Wally likes it his way. I like it my way.
My way's better.
I'm right. He's wrong. That's okay. We are going to throw together some chili oil, something I use almost every day on rice, on chicken, on fish. You can do it on shrimp and stir fries. Oh, I love chili oil. Okay. Let's dive right into it. Let's waste no time. Chili oil is very simple. You need a small collection of ingredients, and then you need to cook it.
Enlighten us, won't you?
We're going to take you right to the ingredients list. Let's do this. All right, let's dive right into our ingredient list today. Ingredients today for chili oil for this particular batch. And again, that's what I just need to stress. That's what makes this so much fun, is you get to customize and make your own. Wunderbar. Okay, let's dive right in. We need some salt. Yes, some salt. I have here in this bowl 1 cup of salt and a half cup of MSG. Salinity is very important. So naturally, when you're putting together a chili oil doesn't have any salinity. Why are you using chili oil as a condiment? Chili oil is a wonderful vessel. It is a wonderful vessel for flavor. It coats things because of the oily nature of it. It then can transfer salt, and it can transfer sugar, and it can transfer spice, or maybe some onion, or it can do whatever you want it to do. And that's why chili oil is such a wonderful and loved condiment throughout the galaxy. We are going to dive in with salt. 1 cup of salt. This is a half cup of MSG. You do not have to follow my recipe size here. I make a whole bunch. I really like it. For you, you might want to start with something small. Just do a couple of tablespoons of salt, maybe 1 tablespoon of MSG. First, let's get through the ingredients, and then let's talk about the size. Next, I have some red pepper powder. Now, as you can see from the bag, that it's not fine, it's not truly powder, it's kind of chunky. It kind of looks like, something like that. Something just like that. So, we have some crushed up chilies. Yep, this is just run-of-the-mill crushed up chilies. I am going to be putting these in my chili oil because waste not, want not, in accompaniment to these lovely, lovely, lovely Korean red chili powder. So, awesome. I'm also going to throw in some Sri Lankan chilies because waste not, want not. We're here for the party. You also, in my opinion, need onion. Onion. This is about 3 medium onions, very thinly diced. Very thinly diced, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. But if you were to make chili oil on your own, you don't have to have 100 types of chili powder. You don't have to have 100 different types of sugars or salts or anything truly fancy. You need just some run-of-the-mill grocery store ground up chilies, not powder, ground up chilies, and then, in my opinion, onion. The onion flavor that it imparts into the oil is just, oh God, it's magic. There's something magical about it. Now, let's continue. We have brown sugar. Brown sugar, yes. I like sugar in my chili oil. I know this is not a super traditional thing, but I like putting sugar in it because when you get the salt, you get the sweet, you get the spicy, you get the bitterness from the onion. Oh, it's magical. 2 cups. If you just want a little bit, add just a couple tablespoons. You don't have to add a ton of it. What I don't recommend is powdered anything. Small enough particles in super hot oil can burn. And as I stated in the beginning of this video, warning, cooking with oil is inherently dangerous. Let us all be as food safe as possible when making something like this. Next, for me, I'm gonna add a little bit of Szechuan peppercorns. Why not? Just some fun Szechuan peppercorns. I've added it the last couple times I've made it. I really like it. I'm not gonna add a ton. I'm probably gonna add in my total amount 2, maybe 3 tablespoons. Little goes a long way. And then finally, some additional chilies. These are big, beautiful chilies that I picked up at a local Mexican grocery store, completely dried obviously, seeds still intact, that I am going to blitz up in my super powerful blender because I make hot sauce and a whole bunch of other things, and then I'm going to add them in. Waste not, want not. I've got a whole bunch of cool chilies, I'm going to use them. It's that simple. Use whatever you would like here. Then you also need some not bananas, where am I going? Here we go. Oil. Duh. Of course, the chili oil portion of it. It couldn't be chili oil without oil. What kind of oil we're using today? Canola oil. Why canola oil and not a different strong vegetable oil like avocado or peanut oil or what's another really good tough one? I think coconut's pretty tough too. Why am I using canola oil? Because it's available, I have it, it's relatively cheap, and frankly, I don't mind the flavor. Do not use a low smoke point oil. Do not use sesame oil. Do not use olive oil. They will not get hot enough. You'll smoke up your entire kitchen. It'll be a whole disaster. Do not. Use a nice strong oil, nice strong vegetable oil, nice strong canola oil. And then, perhaps even more important than your choice of oil is your choice of vessel. Always, 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 always understand cooking with hot oil is very dangerous. Make damn sure you are using a vessel more than twice the amount of your oil. See, my oil is less than half of this. I'm going to be adding onions to hot oil. The hot oil is going to foam and froth and is going to kick up. You have to be so careful that you don't let the oil overflow from whatever your vessel. That's why I'm using a huge, I think that's a 4-quart pot. And then you need something for your dry ingredients. Okay, so let's just go back over here. Now, what's my plan? I am going to show a quick motion montage of me blending up my chilies, and then I am going to start heating my oil. In fact, we can do that right now, putting oil onto high. Oil's on high. I'm going to grind up my chilies. I'm going to mix them all into my big bowl, and I'm going to bring you right back. All right, Crusaders, we're back. So now, with all of our ingredients into a very large bowl, I actually upgraded the size of my bowl based on the amount of ingredients I had, just to make sure I gave myself enough room for when I add all of the cooked onions into this with my oil. My oil is heating up nicely. So let's talk a little bit about temperature. Temperature, of course, this is super divisive. What we're trying to do with my chili oil today is we're trying to get the oil hot enough to fry the moisture out of the onions. It's going to fill this whole house with a lovely onion smell. Beautiful, glorious. We're trying to take all the moisture out of them. Once the moisture is out of them, we're going to kill the heat. We're going to pour the oil over our mixture here, and we're just going to let this cool down. That is literally it. That's the entire step. It's very simple. It's a super easy process. But of course, it comes with some risks, and it comes with a little bit of finesse. So the hardest part here is cooking the onions. That's That's the hardest part. The hardest part is cooking the onions. Once the onions are totally cooked and we're looking for a little bit of a brown on them, they're starting to get a little color, we're gonna turn it all off. I can hear you screaming.
Hey, why no garlic?
Thank you, Greg. Why no garlic? Why no garlic? Because I cannot recommend to you that you put garlic in oil. Garlic in oil can cause, very rare cases, under no oxygen situations, botulism. Botulism is very, very bad for you.
Seriously, folks, don't even risk it.
Do not put garlic, no matter how much you want to, not if it's dried, not if it's fresh. I cannot tell you, even though you're an adult, you can do what you want. I cannot tell you to put garlic in your chili oil. I do not recommend it either. There, that's been said. Let's go back to temperature. Temperature, where am I shooting for? About 350. I'm looking for about 350 to 375. I don't want to burn my onions when I put them in here, but I do want it hot enough that it fries them real hard. We're trying to take all the moisture out of the onions so that they're basically shelf stable and will last a very, very, very long time. So I've got a wooden spoon, good old wooden spoon, that I'm gonna use to stir my onions around in my super hot oil. I've got my temperature. Always cook to temperature. Get one of these, buy one of these. Doesn't matter what brand, get a good one. Use it. We're gonna check in on my oil here in a second. Again, we're shooting for about 350. Once you drop the onions in, of course, the temperature is gonna plummet. We're gonna test it right now just to see where we're at. I don't expect the oil to be crazy hot yet. No, but we're going pretty quickly. All in all, the cooking process of this, takes about maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. It depends on the amount of onions. You don't have to do 3 whole onions like I'm doing. I really like the onion flavor. I would suggest doing a small batch. I would suggest maybe doing 2 cups of oil, a single onion, a couple of tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of MSG, and some chili flakes. Maybe a pinch of sugar. Start with that, do the same process, and then if you really, really like it, do what I'm doing and make a whole bunch of it, because you put it on everything. Dang it. Anyway, I'm gonna come back when our oil is at 350, and then we're gonna start the cooking process. All right, we're back. Oil is at 350 degrees, temped. We are ready to add our onions. The only change I have made is I've swapped over to a metal spoon just because I found it and I was looking for it. So let's dive in, and I'm going to do my very best to show you what happens. So little by little, at first of course, we're going to add onions. Now this is the reaction I'm telling you about to be careful of. Notice how much that made the oil rise. That was just a small handful of onions. There's quite a bit left. So we're taking the temperature of the oil way down when we do this, but this is the most dangerous part. Once the moisture has started to wick itself out of the onions, you can begin to add more and more and more. At this point, we're going to add them all. So, with the onions in, first things first, your house is going to begin to smell ridiculously good. Oh my God. Every time I do this. Make sure you get all your onions out of there. Waste not, want not. You cut them, put them in. Now, you can make your onions, sorry. Whoops. Doing this one-handed. You can make your onions chunkier than I made my onions. I used a mandolin to slice them up to make them nice and thin. It just kind of changes how fast they cook. Naturally, if you make them too chunky, you can risk burning the outsides before you get all the moisture out of them. But it's just take them as thin as you can if you're doing them by hand. There we are. So that's literally it. That's it. These are gonna rock and roll in this hot oil. And at this point, you are safe. It's never gonna boil any higher than this. it'll eventually start taking the color out of the onions. They'll turn white, and then eventually they'll start turning brown. That's what we want them to do. And we're just gonna let this entire thing rock. Rock and roll. And I'm gonna bring you back when the onions have started to turn colors. Hopefully I'll bring you back two times. See you then. Well, all right, we're gonna check back in. So I've had a couple of thoughts as I've been cooking my onions here. We're about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes in, but I can hear you asking, why did I choose red onions? Well, you don't have to. You can absolutely do white onion, you can do yellow onion, you could even do shallots for this if you really wanted to. I had red onions that it was probably gonna go bad, so it's, use what you got. You could throw some green onions here too as well, and something like that. The only thing I can't recommend is garlic. So why, and I can hear you asking, any onion's fine, cool, but why no wet ingredients?
Yeah, why are there no wet ingredients?
Because adding a wet ingredient to oil will cause it to explode. Quite literally, it'll splatter everywhere. It could catch on fire. You could start, a whole mess. You could get burned. Do not add wet ingredients, specifically water-based ingredients, to hot oil. That's, please, food safety. So I'm gonna keep cooking. In total, because I use so many onions, I'm expecting my oil to take about 20 minutes. Our onions are just starting to turn. The oil has completely returned to temperature. It's about 345 right now. It's rocking. It's gonna keep heating up, and the hotter the oil gets, the faster this process takes. If you only use a couple onions or one onion, this process could go really quickly. So I'm gonna keep monitoring my onions. I'm gonna keep cooking my supper and meet you back. All right, one last check-in before we reach the final moments. So we're at about minute 15. I think I'm about right. You can see the color has changed. The bubbles have changed. Everything about the oil has changed. You can start seeing the bottom. You're gonna start seeing it through the froth. The onions are beginning to caramelize. So it's at this moment, when you reach these moments, that you kind of have to pay more attention. Obviously things are gonna go much quicker. I estimated 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna be right on the money. But that's the last check-in. I'm gonna come back to you when I kill the heat. All right, lords and ladies, here we go. Turning the heat off. I was right up almost to the minute. Now, as you can clearly see, everything is turning brown, beginning to caramelize. Everything looks great. We're not at any risk of anything burnt yet, which is why we need to get this off the heat. So I'm gonna set this up to the best of my ability. Next to my giant chili bowl, I'm gonna pour everything in, and then I'm gonna take you to the next step. So just kind of like that, with mitts, obviously. Everything about this has changed. We are gonna very carefully pour our hot oil over our mixture, making sure to get as many onions and goodies in here. I'd like to get that shot for you. Watch how it bubbles evilly. We're gonna grab our spoon and we're gonna begin to mix. Hopefully with two hands, not with one hand, but everything together into the hot boiling mixture. Now, guess what you can't do? Taste this.
Dang it.
Why can't you taste this? Why can't you stick your spoon in and lick it? Because none of us are Greg, none of us are dragons. This is 350 degrees, way probably more. This is probably close to 400 degrees right now. Do not try and taste this at this moment, please. For the love of Greg. Okay, look at that. Boom, look at how red that's turned. Look at how lovely. Okay, we're just gonna let this sit. If you are someone like me who lives in the frozen tundra of whatever hellscape I'm in the middle of January, I'm going to put mine outside because I can. But let it cool down. Let it cool down. Seriously, seriously, seriously. Give this a solid hour. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about it. Every once in a great while, you can give it a stir just to make sure nothing's going too crazy. But that's it. That's how easy this is. This is so much fun. We're going to come back one more time. We'll taste it. Make sure it's how we like it. If not, add a pinch more salt. Not a big deal. But again, look at what this transformed into. Whoa. Doesn't that just look sexy? Whoa. Okay. The beautiful part about this is you get to add whatever you want to this. Now, there are very few exceptions, but if you wanted to add in a little bit some herbs, some dried hard herbs. If you wanted to add, I don't know, maybe some sesame seeds, that sounds great. At the very end, once everything's cool, why don't you add a little sesame oil once everything's calmed down? Boy, this is your playground to do as much or as little as you wish. And remember, if you're thinking to yourself like, oh my gosh, it's got to be so unhealthy, it's got to be blah, 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 blah. How much are you actually adding to your dish? This is a horrific mountain of calories, just like Greg.
I load.
This, as it is right now, is ridiculously bad for you. This is salt, this is sugar, and this is oil. All good things in life. If you only add that much of it to an entire dish, however, maybe it's a lot healthier than you might think. Little can go a long way if you make it flavorful enough. Okay, I'm gonna meet you back in an hour and we're gonna try this. See you there. All right, lords and ladies, here we go. It's been an hour. It has cooled down sufficiently so I can handle it and taste it. So here we go. Let's dive right in. As you can see, the color is dark and gorgeous. Everything got a little thicker. It's not quite as hot or viscous. Now, you can adjust, of course, and that's the point of this entire recipe, is you can adjust how much oil to stuff ratio you want. I like the stuff. I like the oil. It will continue to separate as you go through it, but let's just dive right in. I'm gonna take a little spoonful. I'm gonna try to get everything. I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna try. Look at that. You want a little of the particulate, you want a little of the oil. Let's just try the oil first. Oh man. Oh yeah. A little on the back of the throat. Excuse me, that was unprofessional. Wonderful, oniony, smoky flavor from all those different chilies. A little of that Szechuan. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, now let's get a little bit of that particulate in there. Let's go for a little of this. Now, of course, there's the onions in here. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. A little bit of everything. Oh man. Oh man. Oh gosh. Salty. Tiny bit sweet. Oh, that's chilies. Oh, just that roasted onion flavor. Ah. A little bit of Szechuan. Oh man. Believe it or not, not completely overwhelming in terms of salinity, not completely overwhelming. The heat is low. Out of 10, if I was gonna rate that as like a hot sauce, I don't know, it's like a 1.5. There is some spice. There is some spice, but it's so much more about the unctuous flavors that you're adding in, and you get to customize. You get to do whatever ones you want. That's the beauty of this. Now, next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and I'm gonna put it into one of my glass jars. I've got one of these just lovely topper jars. I'm gonna put it in. I store it in the fridge. Because we cooked all the moisture out of the onions, you could leave this on your counter and eat away at it for, I don't know, a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. If you put it in the fridge, there's no garlic. forever? Like forever and ever? Forever, ever? Like, I don't know. You could put it in there for a very, very long time. These were all dried ingredients. The only fresh ingredient, we cooked it completely. I don't know. Forever. 10 years. There's probably some expiration date on it, but it would be a long time. And I'm going to eat through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to put this on rice. I'm going to put this on chicken. I'm going to put this on even more rice and chicken. I'm going to put this on fish. I'm going to put this in my stir fries. I'm going to put this on my vegetables. I'm going to give some of this to my mom. I am going to go through so much of this that, you know, a month and a half, I might have to make another batch. Start playing with it. Start cooking it. Add some variations. Add some spice to your life. This has been Nightly Meals. Chili oil. Woo! Thank you so much for watching. I am Pixel the Paladin. Till next time, friends, be safe and be safe out there.
Like, share, subscribe.